Today I wanted to tackle Aries' front feet. They were soft enough, and Lena was in town and could help trim him. She started out, and whenever he pulled his foot away from her, she backed him up. It is important that he stays straight to Lena. Any deviation with the haunches is both an evasion and an invitation to escalate to a kick. After a few times of being backed up, Aries settled in and let Lena trim his feet. Lena got off a hefty chunk of hoof on both front feet. Once Lena was done, I continued to play with his front feet, shaping them a little bit. Today I again started with Aries' front feet. In addition to shaping and trimming them, I also wanted to teach him to use a hoof stand. Even after being softened by the rain, his hooves are still hard as rock. I did more aggressive work with the rasp. He didn't seem to mind, though I'm sure the vibration probably felt strange. Before asking him to put his foot on the ball of a hoof stand, I wanted to first ask him to place his foot on the pedestal when I put it there. Initially, Aries didn't even want to extend his leg. I had to teach him to extend his leg into my hand before I could ask him to extend his leg onto the hoof stand. Sometimes it's easy to forget some of the smaller steps that are needed to teach a horse a new behavior. I am always willing to break things down into smaller and smaller steps. Time spent on the foundation is time saved later on. Now back to the pedestal. This time, he knew what I was asking and easily placed his foot where I said it. Once he accepted the pedestal, I moved to the hoof stand. As Aries trusts me more and more, he is likely to accept new things faster. This is a delicate time in my opinion. I've always believed that Mustangs will give you their whole hearts once they trust you. It's a heavy responsibility, one that should be taken care of. It's my job to make sure I don't put him in situations where he can hurt himself. The hoof stand is easy to wobble on, and I tried to make sure it was stable so that Aries didn't feel uneasy about placing his foot on it. After his pedicure, we moved to the round pen to try cantering again. The sand was wet and a bit deep, so he had trouble getting up a really good canter. But for now, all that matters is that he is making an effort and gives me a few steps. The head down cue is something I try to practice with him every day. Lowering the head lowers his blood pressure and is soothing. It also strengthens trust. He is starting to understand that the kiss sound means canter. After petting him, I went to grab the lasso, and he followed me. I was pleasantly surprised and went on a little walk with him, joined up. He is always giving me more. His connection to me is so rewarding, I can't even explain. So the reason I went to get the lasso, my friend and Mustang trainer Jamie Thomas suggested I get a rope around his barrel, send him out on the circle, and pull as hard as I could. Ideally, he will do nothing. But the purpose of this is to see what his reaction is to a cinch. I'd rather he buck now, when there is no saddle and no rider. Considering he has never had this done before, I'd say that was a pretty mild reaction. I will do it a few more times, just to make sure. Aries is still not a fan of having his nose touched. I work on it almost every time I see him, and he is slowly improving. He doesn't seem to care much about whether I put my fingers in his mouth, though. On the way back to his paddock, I thought, why not see if he'll load in a smaller trailer? This is the trailer that Aries and Dakota came in. I wasn't sure what he would do, but he hopped right in. It's a much smaller trailer and less cavernous, so it probably wasn't as scary looking as the larger stock trailer. Either way, he did very well. This coming week, I hope to work towards getting a saddle on Aries. We'll see how it goes. Wish us luck!